Hello, everyone. Cheyenne Chrisman here with the Standardbred Transition Alliance at Equine Affair to talk about the ASPCA Right Horse Initiative. What is going on here today? Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, thank you so much. That's a great question. We have brought together 9 different partners and one of our industry partners, Equine Affair, to come together to celebrate equine adoption in a really powerful way. So they've brought nearly 35 adoptable horses to meet hundreds of potential homes, and we're here working together to figure out ways that we can get these horses into wonderful homes while also celebrating adoption and making it a more common and popular way of acquiring a horse.
Wow. So how many did you get out of all the horses you had last year? How many got adopted?
We had about 20 horses adopted on site, but what was really powerful is those connections that were made at Equine Affair resulted in almost every single horse finding a home, whether it was at this event or soon after. And we even had one incredible group that brought several Standardbreds that got 2 horses adopted from the event on site, and then I believe it was 4 additional horses got adopted when they got home because they were able to make connections and find wonderful homes.
Now, tell me a little bit more about what the ASPCA Right Horse organization does.
Great question. This is really a great example. The ASPCA Right Horse program is a collaborative effort to massively increase horse adoption nationwide. So we work with adoption groups from all around the country who want to see more horses helped through adoption, as well as industry partners like Equine Affair. We've got Pony Club, who's over in the Bricker building, Horse Illustrated, and all these incredible industry leaders like STA who want to come together and recognize that it's a moment to celebrate adoption.
Now, let's talk about how you both got involved in the aftercare kind of program. So who wants to start first?
I'm happy to go first because I come from the industry. So I was with American Quarter Horse Association for about 20 years, so kind of on the other side of the welfare equation, but had the opportunity to help launch ASPCA's welfare program and was there for the beginning of the Right Horse program. And it's all about, like Kaylin said, popularizing adoptions. At this event right here, there are all breeds, all types of horses, all people looking to get a horse. And adoption is just a great way. It's not necessarily for a beginner, for an advanced, for intermediate. It's all of these people combined, all of these horses combined, coming together in a spot like this to find their next horse. And that's really why I got involved with it. It was an opportunity for me to give back as somebody who'd been involved with horses his entire life. So that's my story about it. Yeah.
Tell me how long that the Right Horse Initiative's kind of been around for.
Yeah, so the Right Horse was founded in 2017. 2017. It was actually incubated in Oklahoma by the Arnall Family Foundation, and then it was adopted by the ASPCA in 2019, and it's really our adoption and marketing platform. So we always tell people, if you are looking to adopt a horse, go to myrightHorse.org. And do it at night because it's going to suck you in. You're going to spend hours and hours and hours scrolling through, and not only are you going to find your one next right horse, you're going to find dozens of your next right horse on the website. So
now I'm going to transition over to you. Tell me about how you got involved in the aftercare.
My story is somewhat similar. I always had a passion for horses and wanting to see them helped, and really wanted to be a part of an organization that was changing the systems and building new pathways for horses to find great homes. So came to the Right Horse program in 2018 and have been so lucky to work with all these incredible partnerships and horses and really see the impact and change that's happening in the equine industry as more people are looking to adopt a horse.
Now, tell me about this little Right Horse kiosk that you got going on here. I mean, I'm just really impressed by this. I mean, you're making sure that the people truly find their right horse.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We've got 30 horses on site, but through our partner network at any given time, there's several hundred, usually about 800 horses listed on myrightHorse.org. And early on, we recognized that people needed one place where they could view hundreds of horses from trusted organizations. So that's where myrightHorse.org comes in. And the really powerful thing is this incredible network, so it doesn't matter where the adopter is or where the horse is. We know that horse can get to their adopter through our Horse Adoption Express and have a great network surrounding them, because that's really one of the powerful things about being a Right Horse partner is you've almost in a sense gained 60 satellite organizations around you, because now you're working in tandem with groups all around the country and have a partner in footprint in states all around you. So,
and even if their right horse isn't here, they just walk over to the kiosk, punch in what they're looking for, and they're going to find their horse no matter where it is. And then, like Kaylin said, through the Horse Adoption Express, we remove distance as a barrier to adoption. So we're going to make sure that horse gets connected to its next right home.
Your experience when it comes to these adoption programs, how have they changed throughout the years, and what do they look like now in 2024?
So the one thing I will tell you is 10 years ago, I would have never considered adopting a horse, and I think a lot of people would not have considered adopting a horse. It was too difficult. These horses were languishing in these rescues and rehoming facilities. People were afraid to adopt out horses because of a fear of something bad happening to them. And until the right horse came along and sort of changed all of that and changed the conversation around adoption, made adoption more a popular way of acquiring a horse, and made adoptions more conversation-based, told owners if they considered adopting from a right horse partner, look, if something does go bad, that horse can come right back. Nothing bad is going to happen to it. It can come back. It's got a safety net underneath it. So it really changed the whole dynamic around adoption, and made it an easier way, just as easy as going down to an auction or a sale or a private treaty or whatever and obtaining a horse. And that's really what it needed to be. We can't not adopt horses out because of a fear of something bad happening to them. We have to adopt horses out because it's the right thing to do. They're going to find their right home, and they've always got a place to come back to should something not go right.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to talk about really quick is how many ceremonies you guys had today, and how just the positive energy and how wonderful that is. And one thing I wanted to notice is that you've seen some of these struggling adoption programs bloom and become overnight success stories. What's one change you would make to an adoption program that can revolutionize or just make that program better?
I really think there's two things we see. The first comes on sourcing and thinking about how these horses are coming into the program. We see a lot of programs shift their focus of how can they get those horses earlier and in a more sustainable way so they can ultimately help more horses. And if they can think upstream how they get to that horse 6 months, a year, whether it's taking in owner surrenders and providing support to horse owners in their community, that can both have an upstream impact of diverting horses from ever needing to come into a shelter or an adoption program, or it can also help you get that horse in better condition where that horse hasn't ever experienced a bad situation. It makes both the adoption process easier, but then also is really better for that animal. So thinking upstream and how they're bringing horses into their organization is a huge shift we've seen with these really wonderful adoption groups that we work with. And I'm sure Tom can say a little bit more about that. And then the other piece is that conversational adoption process. And that really means making that adoption process centered around a conversation with that adopter. So instead of quizzing them, which inadvertently can lead to answers and information that may or may not be truthful because that person is just so excited about that horse and really has good intent, but there's not a lot of room for them to tell their story. But instead, getting to know that adopter, talking to them about their hopes and dreams, it both shifts that power dynamic so that adopter feels welcome, celebrated, and appreciated, and also allows the adoption organization to ultimately make a better match because they're getting more information. So we've seen a lot of groups really step into that conversational adoption approach, remove the barriers to adoption, and start with yes. It doesn't always mean that yes, you get this horse, but yes, we're so excited you're thinking about adoption. Let's see what we can do to get you involved in this ecosystem, whether it's as a volunteer, an adopter, a supporter, or some other way. So that's been a really powerful shift.
It really boils down to one word when we're talking about ASPCA right horse, and that's trust. We trust. We trust our partners, we trust our adopters, and we trust these horses going into good homes. So that's the change. It's trust.
And talk about the importance of being able to move these horses in a swiftly fashion to be able to find them good homes.
Yeah, you have to, and that's part of what the right horse program is all about, and that's what these partners are about. I mean, like, we're on day 1.5 of Equine Affair, the adoption affair, and we've moved close to 15 horses. Almost 15 horses are going into their next right home. But we have to, because you know what? For every one that's moving out, 2 more horses need to get into one of these adoption partners and start their journey through the transition process. So it's so important to, promote what we're doing, talk about what we're doing, trust these people who are coming down these shed rows and looking for their next right horse, and just helping make that connection and make it the most positive thing that we possibly can, which is really what the ceremony is all about. And next year we're adding champagne toast to the deal. So
that is awesome. Now let's talk about what are some goals that you guys have, let's say within the upcoming year, maybe the next 5 years.
I think the vision is just to continue making adoption a more popular way of acquiring a horse. We're heading into Adopt a Horse Month this May, which is a great moment for the public to celebrate equine adoption and explore it. And it's a great way for any adoption organization to put their horses out in the national spotlight by using the hashtag, getting involved. ASPCA Pro has a lot of great resources. and really just joining this momentum as we make adoption just another fantastic way to acquire a horse, so that everyone thinks about adoption when they look at bringing a new horse home.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you both so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your equine affair. And let's get some more horses adopted, eh?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.